Morning and welcome to this week's Positive Recovery with Corinna, being made for www.sobertownpodcast.com, which I'm very excited to see on the I Am Sober app has just voted us the second best podcast in their top 5 today, or whenever they did it. I saw it today, which is amazing. I'm just a little bit happy and excited for that. It just means we're reaching more and more people out there. It really is a great website, so go check it out. We do lots more than just these podcasts. Lots of great resources on there. You can also find this podcast on my YouTube channel, Positive Living with Sobriety and Disability. And I'm just going to take my lid off my jar and have a little dig around. I haven't got a lot left in here now, so might be reaching out for some more very soon. Diet, exercise, vitamins and supplements. Oh, that's a biggie. Okay, well, they do say we are what we, don't we? And what we put in is what we get out of our body. And one of the things that I'm really been trying with since my quit on alcohol is sugars. For the last year I have had a cross addiction with sugars. I ate tons more sugar and started eating foods that I've never eaten before since I got sober, so that hasn't been good. I actually put weight on. A lot of people do lose weight when they quit drinking, but I actually put 7 kilograms on. So I have been doing some intermittent fasting, which is just eat in an 8-hour window of the day. But I've just cheated on that today because I've been awake since 1 o'clock this morning. And it's now about 3:45 in the morning. And so I have just had some sugar-free peanut butter on toast, gluten-free bread and a cup of tea. But that's fine. Do you know what? It's fine. It is what it is for today. But I think when people mention diet, it's not necessarily about dieting and losing weight. It's about eating a healthy diet. And something I've done, and I've noticed a lot of people have done this sobriety as well, is move a bit towards a plant-based diet. And I'm really quite enjoying it. I don't miss meat or fish or anything at all, really. I'm just enjoying eating lots of healthy vegetables. And the more stuff sugars, I'm enjoying lots of healthy fruit as well. So I think, we do, if we can try and get a lot of good stuff out of our diet, our nutrition, then that is the best way to get it, isn't it? And when we drink, we knock out a lot of the nutrients that are in our food. We can't absorb them properly because of what the alcohol does to our stomach and our bowels and our blood and everything else. So we can't, when it's clogging up all those systems. When we talk about blood alcohol levels, it's the amount of alcohol in our blood. And when you think about it, if you've got alcohol in your blood taking up space, then you haven't got all the lovely blood cells that you should have there and all the nutrients that are being taken and all the oxygen and all the iron and all the good stuff that should be taken to the rest of your body. We don't have that because alcohol is taking over the space that those things should be in. So when we stop drinking, straight away we're giving ourselves, the heads up. We're doing ourselves good justice to help all those things work and function in the way they should, not to even mention the neurons and everything that are in our body. So just stopping drinking itself will help. And the other thing as well, when we drink, when you think about, if you're still drinking, just think about your diet, or if you've quit drinking, well done. And think about sort of how it was towards the end of your drinking, that just, we eat rubbish. We really do, and Polly and I have laughed about this, when we've tried to do calorie control in the past. We'd actually cut back on our calories in our food to ensure that we had enough for our wine over night time. So, it's really not great when we're drinking and we do not get the nutrition that we need. So we can give ourselves a great head start just by putting down the drink. And then it's really important, isn't it, just to look at what's right for us. And I think, there's no hard and fast rule on what we eat, but we know what's nutritious. We know plants are healthy for us. Other diets such as keto would say different, and paleo, they would say it's more about the meats. There's so many different schools of thoughts out there, but I always think it's about what's right for you. So it's finding out what's right for you and what suits you and what suits your body. But the things that we do know, we know chocolate and crisps and sunflower oils and all those sorts of things aren't good for us. So I think if anything else, if you can just cut out your processed food, anything that's processed has got additives to it, isn't it? If it's in a tin or in a packet, it's got to have preservatives in. Even bread nowadays, to be honest, I mean, if you think about it. I don't know if you've ever made your own bread. You make your own bread, you have to eat it in a day because otherwise it's hard, and it's no good. But you can keep a loaf of bread for 2-3 weeks now, really, and it still be okay because of all the preservatives in it. So try and avoid preserved foods and your sugars, and I think then you'll be on to a winner with your diet. Exercise, again, is very personal choice. It's very different for all of us. Lots of people have found sort of getting back to the gym is helpful, getting out for walks, getting out for a run. Some of us just doing their physio exercises, kick up the backside to me to remind me to do that again today. Is what helps for us, but it's about having a baseline. I think I do have a baseline of, my physio should be my baseline, but I have a baseline walk each day that if I haven't walked much, that I do, or if I, rather than just sitting here, I need to just walk around. It's only about 100 yards, it's not very far, and if I can do more, then that's great, and if I can't, that's great too. There's exercises that we can do in our chair, there's exercises that we can do in wheelchairs. So exercise isn't about going to the gym for 2 hours and pumping it hard. It's about taking a daily amount of exercise that is good and right for you and that is manageable. I think one of the most important things in any sort of recovery, whether it's disability, whether it's sobriety, whatever we're recovering from, is about not setting yourself goals that you're not going to be able to achieve. Don't set yourself up to fail. Set yourself a little baseline of what you want to do each day and aim for it. And if you don't manage it, it's okay. It really is okay. We can try again at another time. But if we find that we're not doing it day after day after day, we might have to kick ourselves up the butt and get that old motivation going a little bit. But that's fine. So exercise is good for us. We know that. We know that exercise does release the serotonin and the endorphins in our brain, which are our feel-good chemicals. And, the dopamine as well. It affects the dopamine, which is our feel-good chemical, which is what we've been triggering with the alcohol. And then for many of us, been triggering with the sugars and the chocolate. But we do also know that when we trigger it with that bad stuff, that it comes down a lot quicker and we need a lot more of it each time to make us feel better. Whereas with exercise, we can just keep it a lot more level basis. I do apologise for my words today. So I've been up, it's the middle of the night here, and my words aren't that great with my fibro and FND today, but it's more because of lack of sleep. Okay, the vitamins and supplements. Personally, I don't take any supplements apart from probably some spirulina. So I've got some frozen 100% organic spirulina, which is like a seaweed, a kelp that I take, that I do add to some of my foods. Apart from that, I don't tend to take food supplements, so I'm not going to even sort of mention that because it's not something that I've experienced or I know much about. But vitamins, I do take vitamins. I suppose supplements could be the other things. Well, I don't know how to group these really, but perhaps one of you can advise me. But so the things I take, when I quit drinking, I used the Craig Becks process, if you like, or schedule. I took a 3,000 milligrams of fish oils because I was having fish then, but obviously you can take, what is it I take now? It's like a kelp, and flaxseed oil you can take as well. So it's basically you need omega-3. And he said that there were some studies that had been done with mice that they'd fed them omega-3 oils or fish oils. And those that had been fed fish oils and they had alcohol in the cage didn't go near the alcohol, but those that hadn't did. So even those that they'd given an addiction to, which is all a bit cruel really in these animal experiments, but interesting for us to know, I guess, is that when they gave the omega-3, it stopped the addiction, or not stopped the addiction, but it stopped the cravings and stopped the mice going towards the alcohol. And I think it really did help me. And there isn't any upper limit of what you can take for omega-3. They'd usually say a high dose is 1,000 milligrams, but he recommends 3,000 milligrams, which I did take, and I'm now back down to 1,000 milligrams. He also says that, alcohol is like napalm over fats and oils. So if you were to spill some oil or fat on the floor, if you poured alcohol over it, it breaks it down and helps you clean it up a lot quicker. And that's basically what we're doing to our brain. So we need to replace that omega-3 or those good fats that we've lost in our brain. Now, there could be some controversy on that because I'm not sure that the omega-3 can get through the blood-brain barrier, which is a whole other subject. But hey, it did work for me. I think it worked for me. I did definitely take it. And I would recommend you taking a high dose of omega-3. The other thing he recommended that I took was B6, B complex, because B6 is good for our nervous system and rebuilding those neurons. And B12 is B12. We need that to absorb all the nutrients in our body, and we knock that out big time when we drink. So that's really important to take. He also mentioned a good high dose vitamin C, which is good anyway. Now, 1,000 milligrams is what's recommended for vitamin C, but I know from other sources that don't take that in one dose. You're best to take it in 2 500 milligram doses a day. And also a good multivitamin. I think that was all that he suggested. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was, and that was what my regime was. On top of that, I do also take magnesium for anxiety and sleep. And I also do take some turmeric for pain and blood pressure. Can make you pee a bit more as well. And what else do I take? I think that is probably my CBD oil. I take CBD oil for pain and for my low mood and anxiety. I've gone to patches now, which is really quite, they're good. They do work quite well. Because the way things like patches and dermals work is that they get absorbed straight into the bloodstream. And they actually go into the bloodstream before the liver, so they can work a lot more effectively, because if you take things under your tongue, that gets absorbed in the bloodstream too. And things sometimes in hospital, they put things up your bottom, or there are pessaries that they just can put up their vagina, and actually they get absorbed directly into the bloodstream. So that things like that can be a lot better because you get a quicker hit from them. I wonder if supplements as well, could be teas, my herbal teas that I take. I found a beautiful tea from Pucker. We all about Pucker teas now, called Peace Tea, and it's got ashwagandha in, and that's really good for anxiety. There are our nighttime teas, but if you're on antidepressants and anti-anxiety drugs, then just be careful to make sure that they haven't got valerian in, which the Pucker nighttime tea does, as both Polly and I found out with our mad dreams and our bad night's sleep. So there's lots of teas. So I think that would be my supplements maybe. Anyway, I think that's probably me about done. I'm probably gonna have a little decaf coffee and see if I can get myself back off to some sleep, because I am meeting a sober buddy later, and I think that's, just one thing that I wanted to quickly add on here, is that when, do find yourself community. I met all the guys from Sobertown and so many other people from the I Am Sober podcast. No, that's not a podcast at all. The I Am Sober app, should I say, which is an online app, which is really, really good. And, you make such great connections on there, and you share more with people that are virtually strangers, that you don't share with the people in your here and now life. But those strangers become really good friends. And I've been so blessed to meet so many of those friends in person. It's been absolutely amazing. And I'm off for coffee today with someone that I meet regularly once a month, which is wonderful. And it is a really real, genuine friendship and relationship. So get yourself a community if you haven't got one. And I think that's about it from me for now. And also from Sobertown, number 2 in the I Am Sober podcast list. Yay! Have a great week, everybody. Not another drop, no matter what. And I'll catch you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye for now.